Hey there, how y'all doing? This is Data, finally on trail. I'm about a half a mile into Shenandoah National Park, and looks like blowdowns from Helene or other things have still either been happening or haven't yet been cleared, even in the Shenandoahs. This is like the third and fourth ones I've come across. They're not too bad. You can kind of scramble under them, or that one won't be too bad to clear. But yeah, it's March 5th, a little after 1, and there's a little bit of a view now that that storm is cleared. But I'm underway, thanks for the help of a Trail Angel shuttle service, Michael Hanlon, and I'll give you some more information about the Waynesboro Trail Angels here later on in the video or in my wrap up tonight. But for now, got to clear a couple of blowdowns. See ya. So now I'm about a mile and a half into Shenandoah National Park from Rockfish Gap, and the sun has cleared, well, the clouds have cleared enough that there's a little bit of a view out over the Shenandoah Valley. That's to the west right there, and then they're not formations like you would have in the Smokies or in Georgia, but you know, for somebody who's been stuck in the flatlands for the last 6 months like I have, I don't know, this is some pretty nice scenery. So I just came from the trail off to the right. And this is a service road that goes to some private property whose signs I have been seeing all along here. And then I'm coming down this way to my first crossing of Skyline Drive. And I believe there's a parking area here also. So you might note up ahead on the ladder, there's a white blaze. So I don't think I'm climbing over the ladder. I think that's more for historical purposes. I think I'm just going to walk around the edge of the gate right here. But I have a debate to have with myself here for a minute after I look at the map, because the AT goes right there. Skyline Drive goes right here. And a purist would say you have to touch all the blazes, but history fans of the AT will know that the Appalachian Trail used to be right where this road is. Folks hike the Skyline Drive instead of the Appalachian Trail because the views are better. And I'm going to look at the map and see which one is shorter, and I'll let you know if I decide to stay pure or if I decide to hike on the road which was the original AT. Today that would be safe, by the way, because the Shenandoah National Park has closed Skyline Drive today because of these high winds that are come up this evening. They closed it at 8 o'clock this morning, so that's why it's perfectly safe for me to stand here right in the middle of it, and it would be perfectly safe for me to walk it. But I'm going to check the map, and later on today I'll either let you know I stayed a purist, or I'll confess that I gave that up in favor of hiking the scenic route. So I'm coming up on the communication towers that my fellow YouTubers have made very familiar to me over the last couple of years. I think it's 4.5 to 5 miles in northbound in the Shenandoah National Park from Rockfish Gap. So I haven't checked, but I'm guessing there's pretty good cell signal up here given the size of those towers. I also went by another cell tower installation about a half mile back. I forgot this was actually on my itinerary for the day. Obviously they don't want you, nor do I want to go anywhere near that stuff. But I'm guessing that's pretty good cell phone signal. This is to the east. You can see the storm front kind of blowing away. And these are these seats I've heard so many people talk about. And also, I think these are tractor seats. So they're not really very comfortable to sit on. But I think if you really needed to have a break, or if you were working up here on those towers, it might be interesting. And then there's a little table-like thing over here that has the AT symbol on it, except that the trail blaze for the AT is over here. So, just like I haven't shot very much video today, I'm also not going to shoot a whole lot now because I've got about an hour and a half left, and before I want to be in camp, and about 2.5 hours until dark, and the weather keeps getting ickier and then nicer and then ickier, and I don't want to dilly-dally up on the hill. There's not really much to see up here, and I definitely want to make the shelter at Calf Mountain before the storm gets in. It is nice. It looks like they're doing some kind of reforestation kind of a project here, unless that's just vent pipes or something, but I see trees start sticking out of the top of some of them, so I think they're trying to regrow some of, hopefully, the native plants that used to be up on top of this bald. But for the last, I don't know, mile or so, this is what the path has looked like. I can see why people say this is an easier section, and after I made the climb up out of that last road crossing, which was a little bit of a doozy, but not horrible, the trail has looked like this for a mile or so. So there's a path to walk down the middle, and there's grass on both sides, and then it's like a bramble on either side. So folks have been right on YouTube to suggest that there really aren't a lot of great views in this area, in particular in the middle of Shenandoah. It's just because there's a bramble, which probably serves as good cover for bears and deer and other things, but it's not really all that much to look at while you're hiking. And now I'm about to go back down this steep rocky incline, so I think I'm gonna sign off for a minute so I don't bust myself coming down this incline. So for reference point, that's level, and that is where I'm going. Well, I told myself I was done shooting video until I got to the shelter to try to make sure I beat the storm, but then I came on this big open field coming down out from around the fire tower, the communications towers, and I hadn't seen this before. I'm sure it's on somebody's video, but there's a blaze on a rock, and then there's a path right through this big open field that they've mowed, and then you can kind of see the AT crosses that parking lot right there, and I assume that's Skyline Drive, and then heads up the other side of that open area up to the top of that hill. Just over that hill is my home for the evening. So I think that probably makes that either Calf Mountain or Half Calf Mountain, one of the two, and probably makes me about 1 mile from or 2 miles from my final destination for the evening. So I'm gonna sign off on this one and get to hiking. So it's 5 o'clock. The weather's nice. I just summited, obviously, Little Calf Mountain, and I actually have a really nice view, really, for the first time today. So I think that is to the southeast, because the sun is sort of acting like it wants to set over here in the west or southwest. The storms are going to come in over that mountain right there, and this would be to the north, and this is the direction from whence I just came. Now I have to say that I have about a mile to go, and progress has been slow because I'm starting to have some strain in my legs and my hips and my calves. It's not, I haven't twisted anything or anything like that. It feels like dehydration or low on calories or something. My breathing's fine, but my legs are cramping up a little bit. But as long as I slow down and stretch every 10 or 15 minutes, I've been making okay progress. But I was moving at 2 or 2.5 miles an hour, maybe a little quicker on some of those even downhill things where the path was wide, like it is on this bald. But coming up that last hill, that was rough. And I have one more little rise. We go down a gap, and then into a gap, and then back up to Calf Mountain. That's where the shelter is. And that's about a mile. It's 5. I'll make that by 6, but it's going to be a slog. So my next video will probably come from Calf Mountain Shelter in about an hour. It is a glorious day to be up in the Shenandoahs, though. Really beautiful. So it's a little after 7, and I made it to Calf Mountain Shelter about a half an hour ago. Got changed into my clothes, got my other stuff hanging up and drying out. Haven't even had a chance to make dinner. I did have a chance to filter some water. I don't know why that's not focusing, but probably a lack of light. And then, just like the weatherman predicted might or might not happen, but is happening, a thunderstorm has broken loose. So I'm telling you, I cleared this thunderstorm by at the most 1 hour, maybe less. I'm the only person in the shelter tonight, so I hiked Rockfish Gap to Calf Mountain Shelter today. Took me about 5 hours. That's a little bit longer than I had planned. So I'm not in as good a shape as I thought. Had some cramping issues, a lot more blowdowns than I was expecting. But now I'm going to sit back and try not to talk over the thunderstorm, and instead I'm going to fix myself some dinner and then try to get some sleep. So for day 1 of my 2025 Appalachian Trail thru hike, this is Data on Trail, signing off.